Okay. I can't see how many people are watching. Usually I can, but I don't know if we're being watched right now, but I do see that Pat is here. So hello, Pat. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's 3 people watching us. We're not alone. Hello. Welcome to, this is June's writing sprints session. You can see I have, it'll be this way. I have a guest here with me. This is Epi Wildes, a fellow fantasy author. We actually used to be co-workers, and that's how we met in real life. But we're both writers, and now we're both going to be published in the same anthology. We're both going to be published in Fractured Folklore. That's coming in October. So yeah, we're both pretty excited about that. But I can let Epi introduce herself and talk about what she'd like to, about what she's working on, or Fractured Folklore, or whatever you'd like to talk about.
All right. Well, as said, I'm Epi Wildes, and it's the first time I'm saying that out loud. So that's a thing. Yes, we met as co-workers, and then I moved away, and that's sad. I write fantasy primarily younger audiences. I'd say probably like YA. Fractured Folklore, I definitely reached out of my comfort zone a little bit and wrote something for more adult audiences. What I'm working on now is a companion novelette to what will hopefully be my debut novel, Storm Wielders. And so I'm just kind of delving into a side character that often accompanies a main character, Claire. And I mean, I just felt like I kind of wanted to flesh him out more because he's just always there. They're always together. And I'm finding that fleshing out him more is really helping me flesh out my main character. So it's been kind of fun in ways they're kind of foils of each other. So it's been kind of fun to explore that. So yeah, that's what I got going on right now.
All right. Yeah, great. So I feel like people know who I am already, but yeah, I write adult fantasy, kind of pretty dark stuff usually. What I'm working on today, actually, I won't be writing new words. I will be editing. So I'm going to be editing a short story that's going to be in a anthology publishing in September. I have to have the final edited draft by July 16th. And by edited, I mean professionally edited. So it's all finished. So I just have to, basically I'm editing it now just to get it ready for a professional editor to look at. So the theme for that anthology was retired heroes. So I actually wrote a short story from Bloodlust, and it's about, it takes place a little bit before the events of Bloodlust do, but the main character of the short story is a retired enchantress, which are like the people bonded to dragons in that world. So it's kind of showcasing how she got pulled into like the antagonists and their plot. So it's short. It's like around 5,000 words right now, but it's mostly just one kind of conversation / encounter. But how she's pulled into it is pretty interesting. So I'll be editing that, and hopefully by the end of the month, I want to send it to, I have an editor lined up to look at that. So that's what I'm going to be working on.
That's fun.
What is everybody else working on? I see we have a few people watching. So if you wanted to introduce yourself, what you're working on, we can hype you up before we get started for our first sprint. We usually do these in 20-minute bursts. So we'll go for 20 minutes. But if you want to tell us about what you're working on, we'll hype you up here.
Gonna hype it.
Yes. It actually is going to feel really weird typing because I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but I painted my nails right before this. They're dry. It's fine. But like you just feel weird touching things.
It just feel like weird. Yeah. I have not painted my nails in so long because I'm just like, my hands are just like in like surgical scrub and whatnot, like constantly. So I just don't know how well it's going to hold up to like Flora Hex or whatever when I'm.
Oh yeah, we met working at an animal shelter, so Marie does still work in animals. So props to her for going to work this morning and then getting cleaned up to come do this. So
we have some comments.
Yeah, we do. Hi, Wes. I've seen Wes on Instagram a few times, and I love mythology, and especially I'm definitely into some Norse mythology. So welcome. Excited to hear more about your project. See more with that. I already said hello to Pat. Pat's probably watching, but Pat is a frequent visitor at these sprints in my page. So I think at the last time that Pat was here, she was working on a children's book. So that was pretty exciting. The plot is escaping me yet. Yeah, if we have a few silent lurkers, that's okay too. We don't all have to chat, but yeah, we can get started with our first one, and maybe some more people might trickle in while we do that. So let me get this thing. Okay, cool. So I have my pretty little. I love this little
Yeah, it's fancy.
galaxy timer here. So yeah, we'll go for 20 minutes first, and then we'll regroup after that and see kind of what we got, how many words you got, if you're editing or doing something else. Some people do different things during these, but that's okay. It all counts. So yeah, we will go ahead and do 20 minutes here. All right. I always feel super awkward doing the countdown, but we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, we have about 10 minutes left of this one. All right, that time is up. So how did everybody do? I got 5.5 pages, quote unquote, edited, and it sounds like a lot, but it's not. Probably because I wrote. That was my fan. I'm sorry. I was really bad with this short story. I had a strict deadline, and I was very behind. So I marathon wrote the last half of it the day that it was due. So you want to guess which half of it is the worst? So yeah, that the other half is going to take me a lot longer. But yeah, I got halfway through, so that's good. How did you do, Epi?
So I've got my fun device here where it converts handwritten notes here to text. I just find it a lot less distracting for my ADD brain to do this as opposed to a computer. So I probably wrote about about a page and a half.
That's good. Does it give you a cramp? Because I would get so cramped up if I tried to write with that.
No, not too bad, really. I mean, I do like stop now and then and erase, so I don't. It's not. I don't know. Not too bad, but.
I don't know if Jenna's watching. She said that she might pop in, but Jenna knows that my handwriting is so bad, like horrifically bad. So I can write like as in action, but it's so bad and I hate it. I have the worst handwriting of all handwritings. But no, I'm glad that works for you. That's awesome.
Well, they say smart people have bad handwriting, so like all doctors have horrible handwriting. So
well, I think what happened was I can write better in cursive, but I'm also self-conscious about that because like apparently they don't even teach people to write in cursive anymore, so it feels like old school even though I'm like 26.
Okay, I'm older than you, so
yeah. But
sorry, I just smacked my mic.
Well, how did everybody else do? Because I think we had a few people with us through that. I see we have a few comments here. So I think Pat commented this right before we started the last sprint, but we didn't get to it. But okay, so I vaguely have heard about Pat's werewolf story.
What about werewolf stories?
I can relate to being picky with names. I take so long to name my characters because I'm a name snob.
I am too, and actually I got like good like couple thousand words into this short story novelette thing, and I'm realizing that I've used the same name for 2 characters, like one in Stormwielders and one in this. So I'm gonna have to change them one or the other now. Thank goodness for find and replace.
I know. I was gonna say thank God for that. I've changed. Oh my gosh! I've actually. Well, speaking of that, the character who's the main character in the short story that I'm looking at right now, her name was changed. I changed it in Bloodlust's manuscript because I don't know why I have a thing. I have a thing for S names that start with S and end with A. So I had 3 of those. So people like, I think on a page, like you can mix up all the letters of a word, like in the middle. But if you keep the first and last letter the same, people will read it what the word is. So I think people were mixing up all the names. So I only kept one of the S names ending in A. I changed one. I shortened it to something that was more of a nickname. And then the third, I just changed completely because I wasn't attached to the name. But yeah, I totally did the find and replace thing.
I need it.
So just more Pat. There's other comments too. Yeah, Pat is in South Africa, so definitely would be winter there. I am jealous because I don't know if when I said the halfway mark for the timer that it was really loud because I had a fan on because it's right beside me, so I know it's way too loud to have on when I'm like talking, but I have it on during the sprints because it's so hot up here. I'm in my attic and both the windows are open, and they're too small for AC though, so I can't have AC up here.
So I'm freezing. I'm in a basement right now. Like So I got like a little window, and it's
The
really cold. Yes, I'm a little office downstairs thing, and it's like storming outside, so it should be fine. We have a tornado watch, but it's fine.
Well, it is not.
It is
cold
not.
Here. Yeah, it's not cold here at all. And heat rises, and this is the very, very top floor of this house that is super old. So, hello, Claude. I think Claude was with us the last time that we did this, so welcome. I hope I'm remembering correctly and that you were here before. If you weren't, then also great. But if you want to talk about what you're writing, go ahead. Jenna is here. Yay. I don't know if you heard, I was saying that you could vouch for my handwriting being terrible because I sent her a card and I forget what she even in a chat. She was like, oh my God, that's your handwriting? Like your handwriting. And I was like, yes, it does. It's so bad. I get so self-conscious because I've written a lot of handwritten cards for people when I like send stuff out, like bookmarks and stuff, and it is bad. Raise your hand if you also have bad handwriting, so I'm not alone, because Jenna's probably about to rip me a new one. Yeah, okay, yes, Penny Dreadful, and yes. Have you seen Penny Dreadful?
I've never heard of it.
It's, last I checked, it was on Netflix. It is like, what, how would I describe it? It's like a paranormal, like, yeah, so basically what the concept is it takes a bunch of like old like gothic characters, so like Frankenstein, Dorian Gray, Jekyll and Hyde are in the third season, but it throws all of those characters into like 1800s London, and it's super cool. There's a few original characters too. The first season is them hunting down Dracula, and Dracula is like terrifying, like an actual monster that's a vampire. It's like not a human creature, but it's really, really neat. And I watched it a few years ago, but recommend if you like gothic stuff. Yeah, it's bad. It's okay.
Rude.
It's fine. I knew this was going to happen. I accept it. All right. Before we get too distracted, I guess, do we want to keep the momentum going with another 20 minutes?
Could go another 20 minutes.
All right.
I might need to get a cough drop, but
yeah,
that, I'm good.
I feel like I might just go get something to drink because I'm running out of mine, and it's very hot up here. So, all right, let's pull this back up. Oh, I kicked you out. No, there okay. We go. All right. So let's find 20. All right. So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, about halfway through this one, about 10 minutes left. All right, time is up. Is my fan too loud? I can shut it off. Might be. Okay.
I could hear it like a little bit.
Okay. I shut it off. It's fine. I had a gate crasher, so I stopped a little early.
A gate crasher?
Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
It's void.
Oh, it's a void? I don't see void on camera before. I just see still pictures of void.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The darkness.
The darkness.
Yeah. So yeah, we stopped a little early. I'm on page, I think the bottom of page 7 of 11. So I'm going slower now, and I'm in the thick of fixing what I wrote in a panic just to get it done.
That's fair.
I wrote like 3,500 words that day. It was bad.
Oh my gosh. I think I've only done that during like NaNoWriMo.
Yeah.
But
a high total for me in a day is probably like 20 or like 2,000 to 2,500. And that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't usually
suffering.
I don't usually go like up that high. I feel like if I can cap out a day around like 500 to 600, that's pretty typical. I'm just kind of slow. I like to take my time unless I have an absolute like crushing deadline, and then it's complete literary abandon and the rules don't apply anymore. No deadline. I'm just like, I just kind of meander along.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way, but I also have come to realize that I won't get many things done if I don't at least set my own deadlines. But it's hard to still meet them if they're your own.
Yeah, I don't meet my own. I feel like if I set my own, then I just like freak out so much over it that like when I don't meet it, it just makes me really like upset, and it makes me it hurts my productivity more. Whereas if I just don't pay too much attention to it and just have fun with it, I get more done. That's just me though. I just have to find my own ways of being productive. To just don't think about the deadlines. It's like hanging right above my my desk.
Oh yeah, your thing.
Yeah, the raccoon.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Words to live by.
Yes. I saw one comment from Pat. Pat writes in capital letters, and I was just curious about, is that just something that you just do, or is it for a reason? I was just curious. I don't know if that would be easier or harder. There were some people I knew who would do that, but it was like, I don't even necessarily know if they would do that on purpose or like an accident, because like their lowercase and their uppercase looked the same. So it just, they're like indistinguishable.
I know like a lot of like male teachers at school would always like all capital letters on the board.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do try and at least, I'm like this too. I like to try and do at least a few sprints a day. Yeah, outlining. I've been doing a lot of that lately too. Because I'm like kind of sort of in between projects right now. Not really, but kind of. Because I just finished a novel that's with my editor, and I like had to quick finish this short story because there was no backing out. Not that I wanted to, but it was bad timing between finishing the novel and then finishing the short story. But yeah, so I definitely get a lot done during sprints too. This has been productive. I'm finding I don't hate this short story as much as I thought I was going to. I didn't touch it for a week because I did it in such a panic. I didn't even want to look at it for a full week.
That's fair.
Because I was like, it's probably horrible. Yes, she looks big, but she looks not big. Like most of my rabbits are bigger than she is. She's probably only like 6 or 7 pounds, I want to say, and she's very close to being full grown. I don't think she's going to grow really anymore at all. So I don't know. She's small, but not small, but also small.
Small, but not small, but small.
Yeah. She was stunted, I'm pretty sure, because when I got her, she was a pound and her eyes were not blue. And typically, if a kitten is a pound, if they're like the right, she was emaciated, but if they're the right weight, they should be around a month old.
Yeah.
And I think they said she was 5 weeks old. But I think that she was actually closer to like 8 or 9 weeks, because when I took her to my vet after she was like officially mine, I thought she was like 3 months ish, and my vet said she had all her adult teeth. So the vet was like, no, she's
older.
like 6 months.
Just small.
Yes. So she is very small, and she had a ton of parasites when I first got her, like was riddled with them. So I think that they sapped all her growing juices.
The growing juices.
Yeah. 155 is still good though. That was kind of like a half distracted sprint. I feel like the second sprint's always like a slower one for people, and that's fine. You're one of those people who can just word dump. I wish I could do that, but I cannot.
I can't.
Wow, that's amazing though. 1,200 words. I commend you. If I'm actually sprinting like during 20 minutes, what's typical for me is anywhere between 250 and 350 is my average. 350 is a really good sprint for me.
I think my like best sprint might be like 300 to 500. If I'm like, those are like nano sprints though. That's for like, I don't care what's going on the page. I just need to like hit the 2,500 before the end of the day. I don't do a whole lot of like sprinting outside of nano, admittedly.
I only started because I would not write if I didn't do that. Because I would like sit down and be like, okay, I'm just gonna like casually type away, but then you like open Facebook and start watching a YouTube video.
Yes. That's why I have my little writing pad, because there's nothing I can open. So like I might have like a show on in the background or something, but like there's no like social media or anything. And I was like justify it to myself. I'm like, well, it's my author like Facebook or my author Twitter, and I'm networking, and
yeah,
but I'm still not like writing. So
yes. That is interesting. Well, I hope it helps you. I have heard, maybe it's like, is it something along the lines of, because I've heard people say that like they'll write in like one font, like their first draft or whatever, but then when they're editing, they'll go back and change the font or like the way that it appears on the page to like make them look at it differently. I have seen people do that.
They talked about that like in college with us, and if I'm ever really stuck on a draft, or if I feel like I'm taking it too seriously, I just stick it all in Comic Sans, and I can't take myself seriously anymore.
Yeah, I've seen Comic Sans thrown around. That is great. I cannot do that, but
I can't.
Props to you. I'm one of those people though, and this is a bad habit that I wish I could fix, just to like get words on the page, because I like editing more than I like writing. So I don't know why I do this to myself, but I sit there and like nothing I write is a first draft really, because I'm always thinking about like sentence structure and the way that a paragraph is balanced and dialogue and stuff. So I don't write true first drafts if I'm being honest. And that's bad because it takes me forever.
Mm-hmm. I don't really do that true first draft either. I don't know. It's just I can't, because if I see those mistakes, like I just have to go back and fix it.
Plus, to like warm up for the day, is what I'll usually do is go back to where I started the previous day, and I'll edit what I did the previous day, and then by that point I'll write more. But then like the next day I'll go back and edit that, and so it's bad. All Are we up for one more probably? And then it's about dinner time for me after that. But I think I can squeeze one more, and if you're up for it.
I can do another.
All right. Let me not kick you out this time. Okay.
You didn't kick me out last time. I just went and I got some coffee.
The options are like similar. Like I can like flick between.
Bye.
All right. So yes, we'll squeeze in one more here. So let's. I think there's like going to be traffic and trains and stuff, and I have this window open right beside me, so it's probably about to get real loud where I am. All right. So fine, 20 minutes, and we'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, that one is done. That one snuck up on me. I am in the parts where I probably have to add a lot of words, so
I feel that.
I have to add lots of detail at the end because I've reached the stage where I was just kind of panicking. So 2 pages left. I'll probably end up adding close to a full page because I just wrote the bare bones, like without any detail or emotion, just events happening. So
Yeah,
gotta
I
flesh out real stuff.
I feel that. I feel
Yeah.
that. That's where I'm at right now, and I feel like I'm gonna delete like that whole scene I just wrote. I'm just like, what is this conversation we're having? I think it's dumb. I'll think about it later.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like, this is kind of, sometimes I've done 4, but usually 3, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of losing my brain a little bit now.
Yeah,
So,
the first 2 were good. That third one, I was just like,
yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for it, but it's just
Yes.
not turning out the way I hoped it would.
Yeah, I reached, like, the scene where, like, or like no, where I stopped in the last one, like things were being explained, like a character asked like, oh, why are you helping this character, and he went into like their background and stuff, but then like because they're trying to convince this one character to like join them, and she just like kind of goes with it, and I'm like, they're asking her to be an accomplice in murder. I think that she would be a little bit more
Be
like
a little more hesitant.
there needs to be a little bit more like healthy reluctance here. Like, I know that she's not like the best person, and it's like the murder of a king too. So like, I
She's
think
like, yeah, treason.
yeah, yeah, I think there needs to be a little more reluctance there.
My character just sounds like a whiny brat right now. I mean, he kind of is being a whiny brat, but like, he just really sounds like a whiny brat right now. But I can't. I'm just trying to transition. Like, I just need to get characters from like point A to point
Yeah.
B. Like, they're literally traveling, and I hate traveling scenes, and I feel like I write a lot of them. And yeah, I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. I just need to like transition everybody.
Do you
Like,
write in order?
hmm?
Do you have to go in order?
I guess I don't, but like, I am right now.
I only ask because that's what hung me up. It's not necessarily like traveling scenes, but transitions
It's
hung
transition.
me up so bad that I just started writing my chapters out of order. And sometimes it's a really bad idea, and sometimes it's a brilliant idea, but I don't know until like after I'm like stitching stuff back together. It does work most of the time. I feel like with more experience, I've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually, it was really funny because with A Land of Never After, I wrote the first, I want to say 7 chapters in order. And then I skipped all the way to the last chapter. I wrote the very last chapter, and then I wrote an epilogue because I decided I wanted to write an epilogue. And then I went back and wrote chapters 8 and 9. And 9 took me forever because 9 was the climax chapter with like a bunch of moving parts, and like where you have to like actually tie everything together, and like people need to feel emotions.
People
But
need to feel.
yeah. So that took me forever, but it was really funny because I couldn't like get people to read what I had because it wouldn't have made any sense, and it would have
Yeah.
like spoiled the end because I knew what was going to happen at that point, but I just didn't have it in me to write like the hard chapters, so I just skipped all the way to the end.
I might have to like skip it to like I might need to with this one because I'm like I know what like needs to, I don't even know what happens at that part. I just know how it ends. Like I know where it ends because it ends like at the beginning because it's a prequel. Kind of. And
Right.
it's not an actiony one either. Like this is more of like a personal journey, and I'm used to more of like fight scenes, and there's really not a ton. It's a lot of just kind of like coming of age stuff and just like parents and child relationships, and I don't know, it's just like this like Mort and his dad just trying to like he wants something, but like he wants a different life than the life that like his parents have given him, but like they've given him a lot, and he's like, well, I'm just gonna be a brat if saying that I don't want what you've built for me. And he's being this character who is wants to be exactly what her parents want her to be, but is failing to do so. And he's everything his parents want him to be, but he doesn't want that. And
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to like tie these characters together, and I'm like, in a way that doesn't involve murder. Maybe there'll be one murder. I feel like I need just one. There's gonna be one.
Just one little murder.
I just need one murder.
Yeah.
Maybe just what we need, just one murder.
If you guys would like to tell us how your projects went, go ahead and we can maybe pull some of those up before we end here. So after A Land of Never After and after the short story, I am going to finish Bloodlust. So I have 11 chapters left, which sounds like a lot, but I've already written 30 some. So
just more chapters.
Yeah. It's 40 chapters total plus a prologue and epilogue, so 42. So there's 11 remaining. And I've written some of them out of order, so 11. That mostly consists of the end and the climax, but again, I've written that out of order. But that's so heavily outlined. Like, I know exactly what's going to happen in each chapter for that. I kind of pantsed A Land of Never After a little bit. Not a lot, but like the first bit of it was pants. So I had much less clear of an idea of where that was going. So that was interesting. But yes, finishing Bloodlust is my next thing. And I'm hoping it's probably not going to happen, but I'm trying to get it done before like mid-ish August. Just written, just existing. And I'll probably have a few people read it before I get it to my editor, who's just kind of on standby. And she and I have just been like, all right, like I'll send it to you when it's ready to be sent, but we don't know when that's going to be. So, yay. Well, you edited a paragraph. That's better than the not edited paragraph. Jenna has a young child, so child comes first.
Yep.
Keeping babies alive. We like that.
Babies alive is good. It's good to have babies alive.
Yeah. Oh, I need to read Save the Cat. I've been meaning to do that for a while. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. I keep getting like ads for it. Like I just haven't read it. I wonder.
I've heard mixed things. I mean, with most things, but I've heard it's more of like a useful thing for screenplays. But I mean, I am an outline nerd, so I like to like know all the methods and just like make my own. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I kind of feel like every writer has their own structure, because I feel you there. For the longest time, I was like, I have to write in 3-act structure. But like, it doesn't always, while that's a great structure, like it doesn't always have to like line up exactly. I feel like as long as your there are like things that every single story needs to have, like no question. So as long as you have those and they happen in like the relative area they're supposed to, I really feel like the rest of it matters. Like, yeah, it's every story is unique, and a lot of them have like parallels for sure. But to say that every single story is going to fit into one structure is just dumb. And also, every writer is different too. So, maybe that's the one I was talking about. Maybe there are two different ones. Yeah, I like the 3-act structure. Actually, when I was in the early days of planning Bloodlust, I did something called the snowflake method. So maybe you could look into that too. I've seen people do the hero's journey. I don't know what you're writing. That kind of lends itself best to like fantasy, I feel like. But yeah, maybe you could. I don't know. I admittedly don't know of other like genre specific outline methods, but I like 3-act.
I do my my not a scatter plot. I don't know. I do like not a flow chart. I don't know. I have my program, and I just like have an idea, and it's like how each idea is connected to each thing, and as it goes down, that's how the story progresses. And I just have like because it's fantasy, so I've got like timelines of like I've got like what's my villains doing over here, And I'm like, okay, because I need to know like visually like what he's doing while my protagonists are like somewhere else in the country doing this, and how they're communicating, because there's, I don't know, there's like spies and
I've seen
stuff, and
I've seen people map that out literally. It was in like another author group I'm in on Facebook, but they said that they have like a very badly drawn map, but they'll just like take a sheet of paper and like very badly draw just like a general shape of their map, and they have like little like figurines.
I want it.
They'll like not like actual, but like they'll like take an action figure and like be like, okay, this is my protagonist, and they'll just like move it around.
It's like little game board pieces.
So
like sorry,
so they remember. I've seen people do that for like scenes too. Like if they're writing a battle, like as they write the battle, they will like move the pieces around.
Okay, I could see that if you have like a really big like battle at the end with a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
I would be in on that. Like just have your little like battle all set out.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm like that literal, because I feel like I don't really feel the need to. I don't even know where everybody's standing if a bunch of things are happening. Like, because it doesn't really matter if like I write third person limited, so it's really just that person's like what they're seeing through their eyes. So like as long as I can like picture in the general vicinity of where things are happening, I don't really feel like the reader needs to know specifics, because I don't know specifics.
Like I don't know, character doesn't know, you don't need to know.
I got like a really detailed review on Dragon Lake, and I don't think it was like specifically tied to this, but it was just like asking all of these specific questions that not even I knew the answers to. I'm not making fun of the reviewer bashing it, by the way, so nobody come for me for that. But it was just like it just made me chuckle, because they were asking questions that like not even I knew the answer to, and I was just like, make it up. Like, do you have to know this?
No.
Like, make up your own. Like, do I have to tell you all this? Like, for you to have a good experience? Like,
I don't know. Yeah. What do you think happens? Because I don't know.
The same person, again, I'm not, they are entitled to their opinion, that's fine, but they also thought that Dragon Lake had a happy ending, and I was like,
oh, is that one? I mean,
oh dear.
Flashing,
oh dear. I think it was an Amazon review, so
yes.
Nobody can come for that person anyway, so don't come for them. It's fine. No. Don't touch them.
It depends. It was like it could be happy. It was kind of sad.
I originally was gonna write that was like supposed to be super ambiguous. You were supposed to be like, oh, did she die? Did she not die? But then I was just like, no. Yeah, spoiler, whatever, it's fine.
It's like a bittersweet ending. Like,
it's not a spoiler. Everybody that knows Swan Lake knows that it's all ballets are like tragedies.
I didn't even know anything about like Swan Lake. I just like had seen the trailer for like the old movie, but I've never like read it. Like
the old movie, it's pretty well. I watched it as an adult, and I was very annoyed because it sets up the movie to be something really cool, and then the second half of the movie is just dude saves girl, and I'm like, you set up the girl to like be her own person, and then at the very end she has no agency. Like, are you kidding? It felt like Whiplash, but it's still a cute movie. I still liked it.
I've never seen it. Like my first brush with Swan Lake was Dragon Lake. So I was like, I have no idea what's actually going to happen, right?
You could only watch it just for the Rothbart, because the Rothbart was like kind of how I imagined mine. Like, he's like this, like, maybe I can actually pull it up here, like a picture of him. And then we'll let these poor people go. But he's like a ridiculous like caricature. Wait, Wikipedia had a picture of him. Okay, yes, this is him. Can I pull up just the picture? No, where's the picture? Okay. I'm pulling up my other screen, but it's like gonna be weird, whatever. This is him. He's like all like sleazy and like with like he moves all exaggerated, and he's just like a gross dude. It's a kids movie, so he's not like that gross in the kids movie, but it's kind of implied.
He's gross.
Yeah, he's gross. But it's just funny. So there is a puffin named Puffin. I know that, which is very random. And like whatever setting this is, it's just like a run-of-the-mill like European medieval setting, and there is a puffin named Puffin.
Name's just Puffin.
There is a turtle named Speed, and there is what's the frog's name? I forget the frog's name, but the frog is like, he thinks he's the princess and the frog, and he thinks if a princess kisses him, he's going to become a prince.
Oh, he's so delusional.
But it's not true, and because Odette kisses him at the end, just like on the cheek, and he thinks he becomes a prince, but he stays a frog. So,
buddy.
But it's a cute movie. It's nice. There's a fun monster at the end too that Derek has to fight. Oh yeah, Siegfried is Derek in the movie because Siegfried is an ugly name. So,
Derek.
But yeah, but yeah, this was fun. I had fun. I was semi-productive until the last sprint when we kind of crashed and burned. But yes, thank you everybody so much for joining us. If you would like to, it helps me out if you subscribe, if you want to keep updated. I think YouTube notifies you when I go live, so that also helps me out if you'd like to. But yeah, I also did link Epi's stuff in the video's description too. So if you'd like to check Epi's stuff out, it all should be there. So the stuff that I have, so website and all the social medias. So yeah, I don't know if Epi would like to say anything else, but that was pretty much all I had. I will go eat food.
Yeah, food sounds pretty good. I was moderately productive. The battery's about to die on my tablet. It's like 7%, and I'm like, all right, like, you're gonna make it to the end of this sprint.
Yes,
it did. I'll probably have to charge that before I continue.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are. I think it's pretty late for some of the international people, so we'll let you go to bed or whatever it is that you do at night.
Whatever you do at night.
If it's not sleep. Yeah. Well, goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.